I thought it was interesting that Elena tells Aelin, you were meant to retrieve the word keys before Erewhon could get this far. This really got me thinking, because when you combine this with Deanna calling her the queen who was promised, it makes it seem like Aelin specifically has been a pawn in the games of everyone to defeat Erewhon long before she even existed. It also makes me wonder what the plan was supposed to be. Presuming it was always supposed to be Aelin to retrieve the keys, what happened that they didn't count on that changed the timeline, right? My best guess is that they didn't count on the King of Otterlin waking Erewhon, and so instead of it coming to pass in the way they'd anticipated, obviously the king awoke Erewhon took over Parrington's body and, kicked off the whole thing. But that's my best guess. I couldn't really think of any other reason why it didn't work out that way.
I do agree that the King of Otterlin releasing Erewhon obviously puts like a very big dent in the plans with the keys, and that's part of the issue. But I also think Elena was the very first thing that went wrong. It sounds to me like Elena using the lock was a really bad move. We don't know when the lock was crafted exactly, but we learn Mala created it, presumably with the intent of sealing shut the word gate permanently with it. Elena tells them that she didn't know what the lock was supposed to be used for and that she'd been paying for the crime of using it ever since. But then, because Elena did use the lock, and it's a single purpose lock for whatever reason, this then screwed up whatever plan they had to use it with the word gate and presumably Erewhon. So then I think the gods and whoever else is involved had to pivot and wait for someone of Mala and Brandon's lineage to be born with Mala's fire, who would then be strong enough to use the word keys and lock, because Elena says its power had already been used up, aka I'm taking that to mean it needs to be replenished somehow. Like they're gonna have to charge it back up, or whatever they did to put power in the lock in the first place. It's probably gonna need more. So then my guess is that the person who can do all of this ended up being Aelin, thus sealing her fate to also be used by the gods in all of this.